everybody, my name is Shane and today I'm kind of back at you with a part 2. A year ago, back in March of 2016, I published a video on my channel called Why I Shave My Arms. The video basically kind of just explained the reasoning why I shave my arms. There is a whole story time to it, so I will leave the video linked down below if you want to check it out, because I'm not going to necessarily go into why I shave my arms in this video since I did a whole video explaining why. But if you want to know, check that video out. I can't believe how many views it got. Like, I think people were just really intrigued by it. It has like 11,669 views at the moment, which is completely crazy for my channel. So today I want to do a part 2 where I answer some of the common questions asked in that video that I just mentioned to you guys, including on Instagram. I asked if you guys had any other questions about shaving your arms that I could answer in a part 2. So I'll be taking some comments from the video to answer, and then I'll be using the Instagram questions as well. And then I'm going to do a mini demonstration on how I personally shave my arms, just so that way if you want to try it yourself, you kind of know what the best way to go about it would be. So with that said, let's jump right into the video. Alright, so I pulled up on my computer here. Lovely screenshot of me. I pulled up the video and I'm just gonna see kind of what you guys are saying, and hopefully I can offer some insight to people who have more questions. First question that I'm seeing, and I want you guys to really know this. Somebody asked me, is it harmful to shave my arms? And I apologize, I am so congested, so I'm gonna try to get through this video as best as I can without hacking up a storm. Is it harmful? No, it's not harmful. It's just like shaving your legs. I think the biggest concern, which I'm gonna get into right here, is there's a, I don't want to call it a myth or say it's not a myth, because I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I'm not 100% sure, but people's biggest concern is about their arm hair. If they shave it off and they don't like it shaved, when they go to grow it back, then it's going to come back thicker and hairier. And obviously, if you shaved your arms to begin with because you didn't like your hair, you wouldn't want that to happen. Now, in my personal experience, I have been shaving my arms since, oh God, I think junior year of high school is when I officially had shaved my arms, and that's kind of where the story time came from. So what was that? 7 years ago? Almost 8 years? 7.5 years ago? Something like that. In that 7.5 years, I have never grown my arm hair back fully. I'm gonna tell you that it almost grows back if you're a woman or a man that shaves their legs or underarms. You know it comes back and it's a little bit prickly. In my personal experience, just keep this in mind that everything that I'm telling you is from my own personal experience. I'm not a professional in skincare. I'm not a beautician. I don't do waxing. I have no professional skill in this, so everything that I'm saying, please do your own research on, so you don't come back at me and yell at me because something that I said didn't work out for you or worked out differently from you. So just keep that in mind, please. But with my hair, I feel like when I shave my arm hair and it does start to come back, it does get a little bit stubbly. But one, I feel like my leg hair is much coarser. When the stubbles come back, I feel like I can really, feel them. I rub my legs, my hands up against my legs, and you can just feel it. You can feel that it's very, very coarse and very, very thick. With my arm hair, I've actually been growing it out a little bit so I can demonstrate how I shave my hair. I have a little bit of stubble, but it's nothing bad, and I feel like in the beginning, when I started shaving my arms, it was even finer when it started getting stubbly. I feel like because I've been shaving my arms for 7 years, that yes, if I grew back my arm hair, it's probably gonna be maybe thicker or more coarse, but again, I don't know. I don't have personal experience to back that up. I just know that my stubble feels a little bit coarser, like a little bit, nothing major, than when it did when I first started shaving my arms and it started growing back. Another question asked by Liz Convey. I'm sorry, I'm blind, so I'm hoping I'm getting that right. How do you get rid of the tracks of the hair like the stubble? So I'm going to demonstrate that for you guys today in the demonstration portion of this video. I'm going to show you how to get your arms, your legs, your bikini area, wherever you want to shave, baby smooth. Like, this is not just my technique for shaving my arms. It's the technique that I use for all my body parts and bits and pieces. So I'll show you guys that in just a moment. All right, I actually thought I had more questions on that video, but a lot of it, I couldn't believe how many of you related to me or like ran into the same problem. There were so many comments flooding in from people of all different nationalities saying that I had the same problem. I was bullied in school for it and that they were afraid to get bullied for shaving their arms. And I simply responded and told them what I said in the video, that if you want to shave your arms, and shave your arms. If you don't, you don't, because learn from, my lesson the way that I learned my lesson the hard way, and I'm trying to prevent that from you guys and make you really understand that whether it's something as extreme as shaving your arms or just wearing, high heels, there are people that are going to really like it and, give you props for it and praise for it and ask you questions about it because they're genuinely concerned. And then you're always going to have people who are like, why do you shave your arms? Why do you wear high heels? That's weird. That's out of the ordinary. So literally, no matter what choices that you make, there are going to be people who think it's maybe a little bit weird or don't agree with it. And that goes for everything. So that's what I always say. Like, if you're afraid, no matter what, like if you want to keep growing your arm hair, there are going to be people who may comment on how hairy you are. And then if you decide to shave your arms, there are going to be people who question, why do you shave your arms? So that was kind of my whole point of that video, for young girls and boys to really, really, really understand that you need to do stuff that makes you happy, because you will not ever be able to please anybody, and the most important person to please is yourself. So really quick, I'm going to jump into some of these Instagram questions, and then we're going to get right into the demonstration. I'm hoping to keep this a fairly, quick video without too much rambling. I know you guys are so patient for waiting for this video, and I really do appreciate that. How often do I shave my arms? That is a great question. As I mentioned, the stubble comes back similarly to my legs, terms of the way it feels. If you've ever had stubbly legs, that's how my arms feel right now. However, I feel like for some reason my arm hair doesn't grow back as fast as my legs, but I'm kind of a unique case, I guess. Literally, if I shave my legs at night and I go to bed, the next morning I wake up with stubble. That's how fast my hair actually grows. My arms, however, I can go like a good, honestly, I want to say maybe I shave my arms once a week. I really tried to shoot for like twice a week, so it stays, nice and soft and stuff. But if I go a couple of days with stubble, I'll just like throw a long sleeve on and kind of forget about it, the way that you would if, it's winter and you throw a pair of pants on and forget to shave your legs. So I probably shave my arms again at the least once a week, just to kind of keep the hair at bay. Do your arms get hairy in that time? I'm gonna assume, how often do you shave your arms? So I feel like I kind of answered this where, after like I want to say maybe 2 to 3 days is where I'll start noticing, a little bit of stubble poking through. But again, I can go about a week before I feel like I, need to shave my arms. There has been incidences where I had gone a little while without shaving my arm and then like rubbed up against someone. And I remember specifically it was a friend, so it wasn't just like a stranger, but they were like, oh, like what the heck was that? It was kind of like prickly. So I do try to keep on top of it, and you know, my hair will grow back, but again, it doesn't grow nearly as fast as my leg hair does. So again, different for everybody, but if you're considering shaving your arms, but if you're like, I don't want to shave my arms every day because I already shave my legs every day, it's not as much maintenance as your legs are. What's the longest you've gone without shaving your arms since you started shaving them regularly, and was it long enough was it enough time for them to get hairy? Again, I've never grown my hair back on my arms fully. Like, I've never let them just grow back in 7.5 years. I think that I do remember a point, maybe it was about a year into shaving my arms, where I kind of said like, all right, I'm getting tired of the maintenance, so I'm gonna grow my hair back. And it got to a point where it was long, like they were long stubbles, like it wasn't really quite curving over my arms yet, and it just annoyed me so badly that I just ended up shaving them. But I feel like if you shave your arms and then decide that it's not for you and you want to grow them back, I would just again try it in winter. That way, if you need to grow it back, you can just have long sleeves on and no one's ever gonna feel the stubble. Nobody's ever gonna you know, brush up against you and make you feel uncomfortable or insecure about it. So I think the longest that I had actually gone without shaving my arms was only a couple of weeks, until it hit that point where I just felt really uncomfortable, and I just wanted to start shaving my arms again. So that was actually all the questions, but I just want to let you guys know, because I don't want there to be any confusion, because my story time was explaining that the main reason that I shaved my arms in the beginning is because I was severely bullied for it, like every single day. And I just kept going back and forth, like, do I shave my arms? Do I not? And at the time, I mean, I was, what, 17 years old, so it wasn't like a thing to shave my arms. None of my friends did, but I was so tired of hearing it every day that I just went home and decided to try it without even really doing my own research on it. That was not, it wasn't a mistake not to do research on it, because I'm very happy with the results, but it could have gone very badly if I didn't like shaving my arms, and then, you know, the process of growing it back may have been a little painful, especially if you're still in school and your peers or heathens. But I just want to make it very clear that to this day I shave my arms, not because anybody told me that they like it that way, not because I feel like I have to please anybody. It's a personal preference of mine, and I actually find it to be a very, very quick process now. So I'm going to show you exactly how I shave my arms, how I kind of get into like the weird parts of my arms. I do also want to mention that you may be able to get away with not shaving from the elbow up. Actually, I only shave from the elbow down. The hair up here, again, different for everybody, but the hair up here is much, much lighter and much thinner. So even if I have this part of my arm shaved like a baby's butt, you won't be able to see like, oh, it's hairy, but then it's like, it's smooth. No one has ever noticed that in my entire life, and I feel like you'd really have to be looking for that to notice. So if you don't want to shave all the way up to your friggin' shoulders, you don't have to. Again, if this is really, really hairy, you might want to consider doing your entire arm. That way you don't have like a lot of thick, coarse hair and then it just stops. I can, again, get away with it because this is quite light and quite fine. So with that said, let me show you guys a couple of things that I recommend for you with any sort of shaving if you want the closest and the smoothest shave. So let's get into it. So I do have a couple of very quick things to show you guys. Of course, you're gonna want your razor, which mine's in the shower. So I do just use a woman's razor. I know some women will use men's razors because they give them a closer shave. I honestly think they work quite equally. The only thing with women's razors I'm actually not a big fan of is the razors with like the big bar of soap. I think it's just kind of, you end up wasting the razor at the end. I feel like you can't really use it once that soap is gone. The one that I use is from Gillette Venus. It's their Embrace. It's just the green blue and white razors. And this goes with any sort of shaving. You always want to make sure that once your razor starts getting dull, which mine is, you want to pop that off and get yourself a new blade. They're not cheap. They're not cheap. It's pure robbery. But, you know, you really do want to keep your razor quite clean. It's gonna make it so your shave is much quicker and faster, your shave is much closer, and it's also gonna decrease the risk of getting like nicks and cuts. So I just got one that has 4 razors, so I'm just gonna quickly replace the head on mine. Just like so. There we go. We got a fresh, brand new razor. My favorite kind. For the smoothest shave, like if you just want all that stubble gone, this is what I recommend. I recommend getting either one of these. This is from the Body Benefits. It's their Lather and Smooth 2-in-1 soap pouch. I actually just got mine from Walmart, and I'm hoping that you can see this. Let me take this paper off so you can see a little bit better. But it's almost just this little like pouch. And one side has like a netting, and then the other side is kind of like an exfoliation pad. So I love getting these. I have 2 of them. I just kind of replace them after a while. And then to go hand in hand with this pad, I pick up these Dove bars of soap. This is the pink Rosa one. This is a beauty bar with deep moisture. So I do have, you know, my separate body wash in the shower. I believe I'm using Sugar Crush or something, or Sugar Rush from Soap and Glory. But I like to use these when I'm shaving, and I feel like for me as a dry girl, they don't really dry out my skin, which is great. So these bars just come out of the box, and they're nice and big, and it smells nice as well. They do have unscented, they do have white ones. I don't feel like this leaves like a pink trace on me at all, so don't be worried about the color. But I always just take a bar and throw it right in this pouch. So you can see we have the netting on this side, and then again the exfoliation pad. Now you can totally opt out the exfoliation pad for maybe a body scrub. You can go out and buy one, or you can make one at home really, really cheap. I'm just going to show you like super quickly. This is just the coconut oil that I use from Luana. I get mine at Walmart. I think it's like maybe $6, maybe cheaper for this tub specifically, and I just melt my coconut oil down and then mix it with sugar, like just sugar, and then I use that in the shower as a exfoliant if I want something a little bit extra. But if you just want to opt out for something, you know, quick and cheap, this is a great product. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I shave my arms. So I'm going to hop in the bathroom really quick and soak my arms. I only like to shave if I've just gotten out of the shower, or like in the shower where my skin has had at least 5 minutes to soak. That way the hair gets really soft and it's much easier to remove. So I'm going to simply run my arms under some warm water, and then I'll see you guys back in just a sec. Alright, so I have soaked my arms for a couple of minutes. I just kind of towel dried it a little bit. They're still damp, but I didn't want them like dripping and soaking wet over by my camera. I also just wet my razor. Just make sure your razor is wet too, so you have the most comfortable shave. Alright, so I hope this isn't a terrible angle. I'm hoping just to be able to really, really show you guys exactly what I do. I also went ahead and wet this as well. So it's not soaking wet, but it's definitely wet enough where if I start rubbing this soap, it's gonna begin to lather. So what I first like to start doing is take the side with the netting, so that way it can really start lathering my arms and do a very gentle exfoliation. So I like to really get the soap worked into my skin. I also don't shave my hands or my knuckles. In the past, I've tried shaving my knuckles, but it's very uncomfortable when it starts growing back. So I wouldn't recommend that necessarily, but I'm just going to work this all over my arm, pretty much right up to my elbow. I'm sorry about the camera angle. I know it's not the best, not the best in the world. I'm trying to make it work, however, just so you can see what I'm doing. And then once I have my arm lathered, I'm just going to switch to the other side, the more coarse side. And you can even hear it. But this is gonna start removing any of that dead skin and allow the razor to get really close to your skin. So just again doing a light exfoliation again. And this is the part where you would use the sugar scrub instead of this, if that's what you decide to do. Now, of course, if you're in the shower, you could just rinse this off, but for this video, I'm just going to wipe away this soap. I did end up grabbing a little cup of water here just so I can keep my razor nice and moisturized, but I'm gonna show you how I begin shaving. So here's my wrist. So you just want to be careful of bones like this. I've nicked this before and it just bleeds, but the hair on your arm actually kind of grows off to the side like this. So you just want to kind of go against the grain. Oh, hello, while I have my head hair in here. So you just kind of want to go nice and easy against the grain. Let me get the hair out of there. Again, keep your razor nice and moisturized as you do this. So just, again, against the grain. And you're just pay attention to the way the hair grows because the hair will kind of change direction on you. So now it's kind of going up, like it's growing up toward my hand on the side of my arm. Okay, you can use small little strokes when you get up to your wrist. And then this bone, I kind of bend my wrist a little bit so I can kind of get up there. And then I flip my arm over. And all this hair is really, really fine. So I just kind of go down a little bit. Just like that. And then you just want to make sure that you get all sides of your arm. So just flip your arm over again. And just work it. I'm going to bend my arm here. You can see where we're at. Now I'm going to bend it up toward me. Sorry, this is really hard to show you guys, but I'm going to bend my arm up so it's facing me towards my head. And I'm going to shave this hair because now this hair is growing down toward my elbow. Of course, you want to make sure you get like this little area here. It's really easy to miss your arm hair. And then once we get toward the elbow, you want to be really, really careful, just like you would around the knee. I'm just going to work my razor right around it. And bada boom. We are actually done shaving my arms. How long did that take? So this arm was the arm with the stubble, and I hope that you guys can see it just for at least this video. And then this is the arm that we just shaved. I don't know if you can see the difference, but the oh my gosh, you guys, I wish you could just reach through the camera and rub my arm for a moment. It is so smooth, and I've never been able to achieve this smoothness without the exfoliation first. So I really think that is key. And again, this works on your arm. This method works on your leg. So I would just rinse it off, and I'm gonna add a little bit of moisturizer. So this is my go-to moisturizer for pretty much right after the shower. So this is from Queen Helen, is their cocoa butter cream. This stuff is quite thick. I used mine when I was pregnant to help prevent stretch marks, and I think it actually worked. I used it all over like my belly when it got really big, and I never got any stretch marks, at least on my belly. So I like to just take a little bit and start working it into my arm. Now it is a little bit oily, especially since mine has been sitting there. I've had this forever. It does take a long time to get through, but it does kind of separate after a while if you don't use it, all the time, keep it mixed up. So that's why I like to use it right after the shower, because it is so thick and so moisturizing. I like it to kind of sit on the skin. Now I shower at night. If you're a morning person, you might opt out for something a little thinner that's gonna, you know, absorb a little bit quicker. But usually I would just go to sleep after a little while, and it's not gonna get all over my bed sheets. So that is it, you guys. That is how I shave my arms. I hope I didn't miss any of your guys' questions. I hope it was as formative as I would have liked it to be. Again, check out the original story that started this whole thing. I'm gonna leave it down in the description again. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to still leave them in the description. I'll try to get back to as many of you as possible. But I do also love when you guys share your own personal stories. It helps me get to know you guys a little bit more on a personal level, and I really do enjoy that. So feel free to comment below. I hope you guys decide to stick around and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye!